Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is David Hart, and I am the co-president of the Malden Rotary Club. And I just wanted to tell everybody, because I know that we have some non-Rotarians present on the call this evening, and I just wanted to give everybody a little update about what Rotary is. So Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. For more than 110 years, Rotary's people of action have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. Rotary members believe that we have a shared responsibility to take action on our world's most persistent issues. Over 35,000 clubs work together to promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, save mothers and children, support education, grow local economies, and support the environment. Malden Rotary has been serving the community of Malden for over 100 years. We actually just celebrated our 100th birthday last year. And this evening, I would like to introduce you to Kate Ray, who is the volunteer coordinator for the Malden Warming Center. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Kate. Thank you.
So I'm the volunteer coordinator at the Malden Warming Center. And the Malden Warming Center, some of you may have heard of. It is a place for people in our community who don't have somewhere warm to go during the winter to come and stay during the night, during the evening and the night. We're not a homeless shelter. And the reason that we're not a shelter is that we're not right now able to supply things like beds. You know, we're not somewhere where people can kind of come long-term. We're more somewhere that people in our community can come and get out of the really dangerously cold temperatures and have somewhere safe to spend a night, have somewhere to get some food. We do always serve a hot dinner, and can have resources like clothing and toiletries. We also, at some points, are able to help people move into different stages of life. For example, we have this year, I think there's already been two guests at the center who are interested in getting help for substance abuse. And both times we were able to connect them with resources, and they were both able to get into treatment programs, which is very, very exciting. Currently at the center, we have our greatest need is volunteers. We have several shifts that are available. I think probably the most urgent right now are the monitor shifts. So we have a shift from 6:30 p.m. in the evening until 12:30 midnight. And then we have a second that is 12:30 a.m. Until 6:30. And what these shifts do is it's kind of like monitoring the room. You're making sure that everybody's safe. You are checking in guests as they come in, maybe, you know, getting their name. Because of COVID, we're taking temperatures and checking for symptoms. And helping them get acclimated, making sure that they have what they need, letting them know that, you know, we have a dinner ready for them, that we have a room of clothes available if needed, and just kind of being present and just kind of making sure that everything is going smoothly, that everyone has what they need. You know, there are nights where, to be honest with you, I come in and I can read a book half of the night. And there are nights when, you know, things are busy and kind of exciting, and that downtime isn't as possible. It's kind of a toss-up. We also have other shifts that are a little less intensive. We have a clothing monitor shift from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the evenings. And the clothing monitor remains in the storage room where we keep all of our donated items, and is there to assist guests in getting what they need. So a guest might come up and say, hey, I need a toothbrush and toothpaste, and the clothing monitor would go and make sure that the toiletries or the the clothes that the guest needs is offered to them. While simultaneously making sure that things kind of stay organized in the room, and that everyone can have a fair share of items. We have a kitchen assistant shift, which we have a great need for right now, which is just 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And that's just assisting in the kitchen. We already have somebody who's in charge of getting all of the ingredients and deciding what we're eating. And actually, one of those people is a restaurant manager who has decades of experience in the kitchen. So we are able to have restaurant quality meals several nights out of the week, which is just phenomenal. Volunteers are welcome to take part in the meals as well, which I do fairly often. We also have a breakfast assistant shift. So that's someone to come in from 5 in the morning until 6:30 in the morning. It's a great kind of, way to start your day. And that person assists with getting breakfast out. We're very lucky that Honeydew Donuts on Eastern Ave in Malden, right next to the center, gives us all of their leftover donuts and pastries and bagels at the end of the day. So we always have plenty of coffee and food available that way. So the breakfast shift would help with breakfast and also just help getting people out in the morning, which can be a challenge because of course people are exhausted, and not everybody wants to get up right at 6 o'clock in the morning, but we always make do. And the final shift is the transportation shift. On Mondays and Wednesdays only, we need someone for about 2 hours from 6:50 to 9 p.m. To assist with transportation. This person does not need to drive or provide a vehicle. There's a vehicle provided and someone will be driving, but you would be kind of riding along with everybody there. And I know that probably the greatest concern for a lot of volunteers right now is the pandemic. And we have worked very closely with the Malden, I'm forgetting their name, the Health Association, on making sure that everything that we do is in place to not only meet the standards of what needs to be done for us to be open, but to actually really keep people safe. So not only are masks required for everybody, gloves are required for volunteers, as well as frequent sanitization of all surfaces and bathrooms, et cetera, but also the guests who used to be able to congregate and socialize all together are now kind of unfortunately separated. So each person has a cubicle made up of plastic sheets around them that's about 6 feet long that they remain in for most of the night, unless they need, of course, to go and pick up their dinner from the kitchen, at which point an announcement will be made and people come up one at a time for their food and go back to their cubes. And guests remain in those cubes, like I said, unless they need to get up for something, and at which point they need to be wearing a mask. So it is normally possible for volunteers to remain a good distance from other people. So we do really do our best. We also have kind of an air purifier that runs all night. So we do temperature checks of volunteers and of guests as well. So we really do our very, very best and are working closely with the powers that be who kind of know what they're talking about. And if you're not able to volunteer but would like to get involved in other ways, we do often look for donations. I will say that at this point, thanks to really the outpouring of support that we got from our community this year, we don't have the need for a lot of items, partly because we just don't have the space for all of the wonderful things that we've gotten. We do often have specific needs. For example, right now we're in need of more medical gloves. And I know last week we were really in need of sweatpants. And the community came together and really met that need, and we're very grateful for that. We also sometimes need people to wash blankets because of COVID. One of our precautions is that we're washing every single blanket every single night, which is a huge undertaking. We're currently working on ways to mitigate the number of blankets that people are having to wash. But even though we currently have a schedule where people are washing blankets, we might eventually need to add another spot for a second person to take home some blankets. We also need people for backup if somebody ever can't get to the blankets, or we just have way too many that day. It's always great to have someone as a backup there. So in order to start volunteering, it's very easy. In years past, we have required an in-person training session before volunteering, which was really a barrier for a lot of people who couldn't make the session but wanted to volunteer. This year, because everything's been on Zoom, we did all of the trainings on Zoom, and we actually recorded one of the trainings. So if you were interested in volunteering, you can send me your email address, and I will make sure that you receive a link of the training. It's about 2 hours long. It probably answers most of your questions and gives you a good idea of our COVID precautions, of what a volunteer would be doing on every shift, and different precautions we have to keep everybody safe. So in addition to the 2-hour training, all you would need to do is send in a query form and send in a photo of your ID. And once we have these things, and those are processed, which takes usually only a day or two, it's a very quick process, you can start volunteering right away. And I will get you a link to the place where you can sign up for shifts, or you can always feel free to email me or text me or call me, and I will get you signed up for whichever shifts you are interested in. So I think that's all I have.